Hello, today on the proper Chemers rant, nothing to do with the webcam previously. That was just saying, the one I use, which is a QuickCam Pro 9000. I'd like to talk about chavs. Yeah, mate. Don't friggin' mess. Or mosh you. Or murk you, as it's called. Or whatever all these words are. You know, when I was a kid, you had respect for authority, and you certainly didn't cheat the police. Oh my God, you used to get a belt round the face. You know, I mean seriously, there used to be some serious kick-ins, and the police used to do most of them. Now the police are afraid to even say boo to a lot of the kids these days, that have turned into a load of yobos. But you can't blame the kids, because the kids don't change. Society changes, the kids don't change. They're brought up a certain way, they act a certain way because of the way they are taught. Teachers can't do anything in schools now. They can't even sort of grab them on the shoulder or even give them a quick no. It doesn't happen, because basically they get arrested and they get put in prison or whatever, or they lose their jobs. And the kids know this. Kids know this. So all I've got to do is go back to brass tacks. Where did it all go wrong? Well, I think it went all wrong in the 80s. In the 80s, I never cheated a teacher. They used to get the slipper or the cane, or clip round the ear, or they used to grab your ear. No, listen. I mean, there was this one teacher called Mr. Thomas, who was from Wales. Had a lot of respect for him, but you didn't mess around in his lessons. We used to go, "Hey, boy, what did you say?" Used to grab your ear like that, The little ears like that. "Listen, boy, come over here." That sounds more like a Pakistani, but you get the slip. And you used to get the slip, and you didn't do it again. You never used to use it excessively, but you knew where to draw the line. Or they used to have you doing litter picking, or there was detention. There was things like that, you know what I mean? You knew how far to push. The way kids cheat adults these days, if you'd have done in my day, they could smack you in the face, and you thought, if you said anything to the police, they'd give you a good as well for doing it. The reason it's gone the way it has is because parents haven't got any disciplinary powers whatsoever, and now it's gone ridiculous, because those children have grown up to be adults themselves, and their children having children. I mean, they're getting younger and younger all the time. Why does this happen? It's to do with society. My mum couldn't afford to just have me when she was young, and my dad was working 7 days a week, and they were struggling. Now they'd be laughing. Everything's given to these single moms now. I mean, these single moms, they basically, I don't know why they call it a flipping, I don't know why they choose it, and they do choose it. Yes, you get a house, or you get a decent flat or whatever, you get a lot of perks. But my God, I'd rather work, thanks, than have to, bring up some children single-handedly. I mean, that's the way it is. But I've seen them. They go into McDonald's, Mackie D's as it's called. They hang around precincts. They go into pubs and drink around kids. And don't tell me I'm talking a load of rubbish, because I've seen it. I used to go out with a single mum years and years ago. And there used to be kids playing around at 2 o'clock in the morning, and these kids are now growing up. They're growing up. And they are now adults of the future with their own children. And they're instilling the same values they learnt. And the values they learnt were scam the system, get what you can out of it, and then you won't have to work. If it's like, if a job comes up, make sure you go in a pair of jeans. And another thing that they've done, and it's amazing, look at the baby pee scandal. The baby pee scandal Neither of those worked. And they had far too much time in their hands. It wouldn't have happened if they'd have had a job, I don't think. It wouldn't have happened if they'd have had instilled in them better values. Instead, Mrs. Barker, as her name, well, use that term loosely, Tracy Barker, I think her name was, she freaking well bloody had far too much time on her hands. She was on Bebo while that kid was being bloody well beaten up. Sick. It's a sad reflection of society. It really is. I've been on buses and I've seen them lolling around, and they don't flipping well discipline the children. They don't even tell the children to sit down, and these children are jumping over other people and causing problems and belting like you're trying to bloody well listen to music, and they're belting the back of the chairs and everything else, and the mother's just laughing and probably said, "Oh, go ahead, do it more, do it some more." This is how thick people are getting. And I honestly know that there are some single mothers that are single because they, you know, the waster walks out on them. You know, decides he doesn't want to have anything to do with the child. But there's a growing number of them that keep their boyfriend on the side, pretend to be single mothers, and get all the benefits. They claim housing benefits when really they shouldn't, because they've got boyfriends that work and make enough money. You know? These girls, you see, walking around with expensive mobile phones, expensive jewellery. And that's another thing. I'm not just having to go at single mothers. Have you seen these bloody dads, these so-called dads? Big beer bellies walking around. And they're meant to be fathers. God, I wouldn't have them looking after a dog. Anyway, you know, they're just so flipping pathetic. You see them? Oh, God. Vicky Pollard's actually got intelligence compared to some of the girls that you see pushing around prams these days. Smoking all over the babies so they get asthma and whatever. What kind of a society are we living in? I'll leave you with that thought. Take care. Bye for now.
Walk in the room, you're the eye of the floor. A class out of reach, no longer, no more. The excitement's on my rebounds to my head. It's got to be told.